He's right, actually, some of the fixtures they've had already. But today, to do that, when they haven't always been able to deliver at that point, what does that do to belief at this early stage in the group?
I think it gives you incredible belief because, as I say, there's so many times in the last 3 seasons, not even just last season, where you've had teams at the top end, Man City, then Liverpool, dropping points in certain instances and you playing before them and not putting the pressure on and losing when you play before them or drawing games and then they win. You have to take advantage of these moments. And I think that is one of the big things in this season, which hopefully will give them the confidence and the momentum to keep going in games, because that's how you win the league, especially if you get a Liverpool who are 5 points clear, maybe 10 points. You have to, at some stage, eat into the deficit. Otherwise, it's just gonna keep going and the gap never gets smaller. So it's brilliant to see Arsenal do that.
Because we saw the stoppage time board go up 8 minutes and we saw Mikel Arteta immediately indicate that to the players and tell them to get forward. He fully believed, never mind the players, that winning goal was coming.
Yeah, there's a frustration from a Newcastle point of view, but you've got to take nothing away from Arsenal today. They really were the better team, superior team. Wright mentioned Nick Pope was probably the star man for Newcastle, making some brilliant saves. But when you get into the 95th, 96th minute of Newcastle, you think, oh, we're going to see this out. But again, the delivery, and even the delivery for Rice on the first one is very, very special. But he makes a good point, Arteta, there about the belief he's building within the squad. They believe themselves in this 96th minute that they're going to get this goal. You know, there's a real belief they get the right delivery. You know, Saliba does his right job. Gabriel out-jumps everyone, and they believe within themselves. And Wright is right. They've had a few difficult times up at St James's Park. It's not an easy place to go to. And again, the belief that will give this squad of players and the football club as a whole will be massive come this Premier League race.
You talk about the determination as well there, Steve. Just see where he went from to get into a ruck of players to then jump and get that header in is exactly what we're going to need if we're going to try and take this all the way. Yeah,
because we've seen Liverpool already this season get late winners to make a difference to their points tally. So Arsenal have to produce that in that moment.
We've had a bit of stick, Arteta, as well, going to Liverpool, maybe not playing, you know, Eze and co. There's always selection. I think people say he should have done this, should have done that. Had a bit of stick last week against Man City, could have been more offensive. But again, he's got a belief in what team he picks, who he plays, where and when. And again, the biggest problem we have this year is picking 11 players, because the squad of players that he has built and the hierarchy, you've got to give them credit as well. They've backed him, they've supported him. And now you could arguably say they're one of the best squads in Europe, both for the Premier League and the Champions League. They've got an unbelievable squad and a team of players to choose from.
I think it's important as well, Shay, you'll know as well, you have to everybody has to buy into the fact that 11 is going to play and you've got a role to play off the bench. I think that hopefully the way the season starts, we've seen people come off the bench and make a massive difference, and that is how you win the league. Everybody knows that, listen, I might not start, but I'm going to get my time and I'm going to be a part of it. I'm going to make sure I play my part.
And in Martinelli's case, I mean, Champions League goal, a crucial goal against City, and he still didn't start. I mean, that's what you've got to buy into.
And then you've got to, because when you come on, you've just got to come on and show, well, I make sure that he puts me on in every game. I'm not going to come on and sulk my way through five minutes, whatever it is. I'm going to play.
Now, as a former set-piece coach in the Championship, you didn't appreciate today's set-piece in the 96th minute with your Newcastle hat on, of course, but you will appreciate these numbers in just 2 and a bit seasons in terms of goals from corners alone, never mind set plays. Look at that, 36, and then the drop-off to the next best, Spurs and Chelsea, 21. I mean, people talk about huge different margin in terms of that area.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big margin, that, and I'm surprised that gap's that big. I'm not surprised Arsenal at the top, but I'm surprised there's that many goals between the teams below them. But there's so much, when you are setting up a set play thing, there's so many different things you have to do. One's got to block the keeper, one's got to run around the side, like, you know, even the Declan Rice in the first goal, got to come out short, drag them out of the spaces. Every single player has to buy into what you do as a set play coach. And if one player switches off, or, you know, even one of the subs coming off, if he doesn't get the right message on the iPad before he comes on, and he doesn't do what he's... that doesn't happen. Them numbers don't happen. Every single player has to buy into it. And see, I think the NFL people in American football, it's such a big moment in the game, such key. You've got an advantage of the opposition. And if everyone does their job and you get the right delivery... Now, sometimes I question why Declan Rice is taking set play, because he's 6'3".
Well, it didn't happen until January of his first season, did it?
But a question, even still a question because of his height. But then when you see the delivery right for that first goal, it's a phenomenal delivery, and you wonder, can anyone else put this ball on the spot? Rolls him first time into the... That's a brilliant ball. That's nearly
Honestly,
undefendable.
To be honest, it's coming at just the perfect height. And what you need the forward to be coming forward, because he's got to come forward, because otherwise it's coming in so low, Steve, that the defender should be able to clear it. But you've got to just get that little half a yard in front of him to get any touch on it, and then hopefully it just sneaks in the bottom there. But again, it just comes down to the ball that's gone into the box there.
And does that plant in the opposition's mind as well? For Newcastle to concede a corner to, I don't know, Burnley, they think, right, we've got to concentrate here. But then today, oh, this is Arsenal. They've got 35 goals in the last 2 seasons from this situation.
Well, you would think so. You know, it's red alert when they get a corner or a set play, anything. You have to be really on cue, and no one can afford to switch off. And the frustrating thing about that goal, even that goal, it's nearly undefendable, because they didn't do a lot wrong, Newcastle, if I'm being brutally honest. You know, it's great movement in the box and the delivery. And as Wright says, if there's more height than that, you know, Botman comes and heads it clear. But it's just low and whipped, and all he has to do is just help it on. Marino, and it's a brilliant header.
And it's a huge area where Arsenal continue to dominate and make the difference in these Premier League games.
You know what would be good, Steve, is if through the season, if we are going to take advantage of those set pieces, they're for winning goals like that. You know, for winning goals, because there's so many times where we've had set pieces like that in games where they've saved us. Hopefully this season we can be taking full advantage of the set pieces, and they're games that win us games. Because at the start of the season, when we saw the start of our fixtures, everybody's saying, "Whoa, that's a really tough start." I think everybody would be happy with the first 4 or 5 games and the way the results have gone, right.
And then today, Bukayo Saka is joining us. Bukayo, very well done. We're all saying that feels hugely significant, that Gabriel goal. Does it to you?
Yeah, it feels massive, you know, coming here in the recent years. You know, things have kind of gone against us results-wise and obviously decision-wise, and, you know, there was a feeling that it could go that way again today, but, you know, in the end, you know, we brought it back, so it's a massive win.
Bukayo, Ian, I just wanted to say, yes, man, you know I'm smiling. I just want to say at half-time, what was the boss saying? Because I was saying that not to panic, let's just stay, we're playing well. What did the boss say?
Yeah, it was exactly that, you know. We were completely on top of them, dominating them. I think they had one chance and they scored it, you know. And, you know, in these games, it's not just enough to control. We have to be a bit more clinical and take our chances, which is what we tried to do in the second half.
And yet another goal from a corner. 36, I think it is, since the start of last season. I mean, it's some unbelievable record. And the delivery, Bukayo, each time.
Yeah, well, it's something we work on because we know how important it can be, and today it won us the game, so we're more than happy.
Yeah, Declan's ball for the equaliser. Martin Odegaard's for that one.
Yeah. Beautiful scenes, man.
Yeah, if you're an Arsenal player, I mean, Newcastle's a tough place to come, Bukayo, and of course that's proven in the last couple of years. So even the psychological side of it, you guys going up there today and winning after Liverpool losing last night must be big for you guys.
Yeah, of course, we know the Premier League's a long season, and all the big teams will drop points along the way. We just have to focus on ourselves, and, you know, today we got the job done, and that's all we can continue to focus on.
And talking about dropping points, I mean, we're only so early into the season, but when Liverpool have a blip, like yesterday, does that add to the determination before the game today to make them pay and do your job?
Yeah, in the back of our minds, we know that. I'm not going to lie and say that. We're not aware of that. But, of course, we know, like I said, it's a long season and it's still very, very early. So it's just about staying there, staying in around it, and just winning games. That's all our focus is right now.
And what does it do to the belief when you keep going in a game like this and get your rewards so late on yet again?
Yeah, we need that. It's something, you know, we try to do, you know, especially when we're down in a game. We want that belief. We want to believe that we can score at any moment, whether it's the first or last minute. And today's going to give us a massive belief. And, yeah, we're going to be really happy with that. And hopefully, you know, we can win games earlier. But if we have to do it again, you know, we can do it because we've shown it.
You have indeed. Well done. Great win. Safe travel home.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Captain.
Cheers, Wright.
There's that big smile, almost as big as yours. I mean, he talks like he plays as well, doesn't he, Bukayo?
Yeah.
Because his influence, as you said right from the off, when he's in, he's the talisman.
Yeah. And the thing is that, you know, because you don't see it too often, as him coming off the pitch when he's not injured, coming off the pitch is always, it used to be something where you feel you're on a little bit, oh no, Bukayo's going off. But now, like I say, with the bench we've got and with the belief that the guys now have, even when Bukayo goes off, we still feel like we've got enough on the pitch to create. I thought Martin Odegaard came on and I thought he was really busy, he was really sharp, and he was really moving the ball around, kept it in that 10 area.
But getting back to our previous point, he'll be one of those who feels he should be playing. He's normally been a starter.
Well, the thing is, he's our captain. You like to think that when he's properly fit, he will probably start somewhere. But then, what you want is the team to continue to play well enough where then Mikel has got a problem in who he picks, and whoever's coming off the bench they have to contribute so as they can stay in the team or play in the team.
For Newcastle, it's still just one league win all season. Finding such a concern.
It's starting to get a concern, yeah. You've seen the table before, you think Aston Villa have a really poor start, but they're equal in points now with Newcastle. So, again, it's a frustration. I don't think they're playing that bad. I think Eddie mentioned last week about it's a transitional time for the new players to settle in, get into the team. But we know the Premier League is a tough league, Steve. They'll want the ambitions to get back into the Champions League. And the longer these points keep slipping away and that more wins don't come, then it'll be a concern.
And, of course, they are, like Arsenal in Champions League action this week. Yeah. They're going to have to juggle that again, aren't they?
Definitely. The squad is deeper, but at the same time, you need to get results in the Premier League, the bread and butter.
OK, Wrighty's going to enjoy the evening. Thank you very much indeed, Wrighty and Shay, for your company today. Well, what a weekend already at this early stage of the Premier League season. Liverpool on Saturday, conceding late and losing. Arsenal on Sunday, scoring late and winning. How significant could that be? We'll find out in the next few months from the three of us. Take care. We'll see you soon.
So he went and had a look and that wasn't given. But overall, in terms of what Arsenal did in the game, we looked at the match stats a little bit earlier. So many shots on target, so much possession. The XG, whatever sort of weight we place on that, was so much higher than Newcastle. They dominated that game, and regardless of various controversial decisions, you would say they deserve to win it.
Yeah, of course. I think, if you was in Newcastle's changing room and you came in and you got a draw or you won the game, you'd have probably felt like a bit of a bandit, really. Do you know what I mean? You should have had a mask on because, you didn't do enough to win the game. Defended very well. But, they were under the cosh for most of the game. First half, I thought Arsenal were exceptional. And then for periods in the second half, Newcastle got back into it. But then, towards the end, Arsenal were in the ascendancy again. And as you said, you look at the XG, you look at the shots, and you say, well, you can't come away and not say that, Arsenal didn't deserve to win this.
But before the game, we were talking about whether Mikel Arteta's team selection would sort of give us an idea about what he thought about Newcastle. What do you think it did tell us, that he chose to approach this differently than he did Liverpool or Manchester City?
I think he went after this. He went after this today. He played the attacking players. They were on the front foot. And, first half, Pope made 2 or 3 great saves that kept Newcastle in the game. So he went for it, and those players produced. Unfortunately, the goalkeeper was in fine form in the early part of the game.
He'll say, Mikel Arteta, that this was a game in which he could do that he was able to take the handbrake off, which clearly is not an expression he particularly likes. But, he'll say that he can do because he's coming here and he feels that they've got a chance and that maybe he can't do it against Manchester City or Liverpool. Is that right? Or can Arsenal now be a bit more attacking in their approach going forward?
And I think it was purely based on the midfield. Picking Merino or Eze last week. I think a lot of the fans would like to see Eze start. He went with Merino today, and Merino ends up the important player when he gets you the equaliser. So it goes either way. And I think today, Eze shows that you can trust him in these big games. He showed if you play him in the midfield position where he's one of the 3, he can get on the ball, he can make things happen. Certainly first half, he was the most creative influence on the game.
Arsenal travelled to St James's Park for a thrilling clash with Newcastle United, and the match lived up to expectations with intensity from start to finish. Both sides entered the contest in strong form, but it was Arsenal who looked sharper in possession, dictating much of the first half play through Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard. Newcastle, however, stood firm defensively and relied on quick counterattacks to test the Gunners' backline. The second half saw Arsenal's persistence pay off when Saka broke the deadlock with a composed finish, sending the away fans into celebration. Newcastle responded with determination, leveling the score shortly after through a well-worked team move. The match then became a test of mentality, with both managers urging their players to push for the decisive goal. In the final stages, Arsenal's attacking pressure proved decisive as they found the winning strike, sealing a 2-1 victory away from home. Mikel Arteta praised his team's resilience and composure in a challenging environment, while pundits like Ian Wright hailed Saka's influence on the game. The win strengthens Arsenal's momentum in the Premier League race and sends a clear message about their title ambitions.